3, 2, 1. Madam Speaker, after the fall and you look down, you see shattered pieces. We want that to become a whole, and we think that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. However, if we really want to be able to know what that looks like in order for us to compare that new glass or that new persona, we need a clear picture of what it was, what shaped it, and what motivated in order for it to truly have meaning. A couple of reasons why their side cannot take this debate. Number one, at best, they assert a band-aid solution and an illusion of effectivity and control. The fatal flaw coming from their side is that they assume everyone wants to be able to get over it and that these things can be done equitably in the same way. But for reasons I told you in my case in the top of my speech, trauma in the process before, during, and after is a complex and diverse reality that not all people can take in the same way because people have different emotional sensitivities. Some are stronger and some are weaker. Government side pressures you to a large extent to rush this process and accept that particular thing. On-side opposition, we look at the bigger picture in order to see the true comparative. But let's be clear, I don't want any misrepresentation or bogeyman metrics. We told you that even if you like who you are, is exactly the point in which you accept it but are ill-equipped to deal with trauma in the future. I told you that, check the flow, no response thus far. Secondly, what is the true comparative? The true comparative lies in Jaron's unrebutted extension coming from government whip. Please note that whip, to an extent, was kind of building and whipping on the back foot, and we think that in response to this, Hesaya clearly explains to you the comparison, and in order to make an assessment between are you getting better, you need to have the full picture of past, present, and future. The reason why we have to lock in to the past is to be able to see our emotional sensitivities, the things we like and dislike, the things that make us smile, the things that make us frown, which uniquely allow us to transcend that trauma, as opposed on their side, you assume that it's fine, and even if you're able to go past that, is a question on do you truly value who you are then, because largely what shapes you is a function of those people, those places, and those events that once gave you meaning. Thirdly and finally is the tipping point in this particular round, which we consistently told you. 3 questions. A, does the person who experienced trauma probably want to go back to who they were before? And the answer was in my POI in the start of the round, of which they haven't truly proven. B, is this going to be beneficial to the particular person? And we told you that it allows you the full range of capacity to make those particular decisions. Simply from a categorical and quantitative perspective, you have more data, and because of what Hesaya and Jaron told you, there's a higher capacity to exercise choice and agency. C, and this is the most important, what should mental health care services do? Because this is a health theme round, and we were quite more proximate to role fulfillment and the burden of being able to tie this back to mental health care services. Because they are businesses, and because they deal in uncertainty, we reject this cookie-cutter metric of having to make the assumption that everyone is strong enough to be able to move forward, and even if they did, robs them the capacity to truly prevent these things from happening in the future. On the comparative, we told you that yes, it's painful, yes, it might hurt, but these mental health care services are there to tell you and give you what you need as opposed to what you want, which in the short term might be pleasurable, but in the long term and in the present sets you up for more success, more anxiety, more depression. We are very, very proud to stand on side opposition.